Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a Hemostat Mandala shirt. The shirt was prepped like normal and I have it turned inside out. I want to put the mandala on both the front and the back side of the shirt, so I'm going to begin by centering the shirt. Essentially what I'm doing is getting both sides of the front of the shirt right next to each other, and the same thing for the back. That way, whenever I apply the dye to the shirt, both sides of the front of the shirt are going to look more symmetrical or the same, and the same for the back. This process is going to go really fast, but down below in the description for this video is the link to another video which shows how to center a shirt. Okay, so now that the shirt is centered, I'm going to start folding the mandala portion. I want to find close to where the center of the shirt is, so I folded the hem up toward the top of the shirt. I'm going to place a mark where I'd like the center of my mandala to be, and then I'm going to grab the hem of the shirt and fold it up toward that center mark. I'm going to start the folds very much like I were making a paper airplane. But as I make each fold, I'm going to try to keep all of the wrinkles out of the center part of the shirt. Then I'm going to grab the neck portion of the shirt and fold it down to that same mark. I'm going to pinch this seam and lift the shirt up off of the table, which will essentially fold it in half. Then I want to make one more fold on each side of the shirt. So I'm going to grab the side that only has 2 folds and fold one side toward the center, turn the shirt over and do the same thing on the other side. So I just ordered a whole bunch of new hemostats. I got a bunch of 12-inch and 10-inch hemostats, both straight and curved. So I thought I would just try a new design on this shirt. I thought I would experiment and try something different with the placement of the hemostats. I'm starting at the very end of the mandala, and I'm going to use a straight hemostat, and I'm going to place it at an angle. By the way, I've coated all of my hemostats in heat shrink tubing so that they don't damage the shirt. I found a roll of 1/4-inch heat shrink tubing that was about 8 feet long, and it fits this size hemostats perfectly. In case you're wondering, I found the roll of heat shrink tubing at Lowe's in the electrical department. I cut it to length, put it over the teeth of the hemostats, and then used my heat gun to shrink it into place. If there was any excess left at the ends, I just trimmed it with a pair of scissors. From here, I'm going to place straight hemostats in pairs, diagonally going up the shirt. I'm not going to place them the entire width of the shirt though. I'm only placing them about half of the width of the shirt. The majority of the hemostats that I used are 12-inch hemostats. I did use some 10-inch hemostats though, down toward the very end of the shirt where the sleeves are. It's important to remember to be a little bit cautious whenever you're using hemostats on a shirt. If you get a little too rowdy when you're moving the shirt around, the hemostats can pop off, and they can really fly a long ways too. So one question I get asked quite often is, can I make this shirt without using hemostats? And the short answer to that is no, you really can't. Most hemostat shirts have a very specific look because the hemostats in and of themselves give the shirt a specific look. You can tie a mandala with sinew, but it's not going to have the same look as a mandala that was made using hemostats. If you're not sure where to buy hemostats, I have a link down below in the description for this video for where you can purchase some from Amazon. After I have all the hemostats on my shirt, I'm going to place the shirt on a rack and allow it to dry out completely. I get better color saturation on a thick fold like this if the shirt is completely dry when I begin applying the dye. If you'd like some more information about this topic, I have more of an in-depth discussion on a blog post on my website. There's a link to the website down below in the description for this video. Okay, so here are the colors that I've chosen for the shirt. And before I begin applying the dye, I'm going to use a washable marker and divide my shirt into a few more sections. I'm drawing some triangle shapes in the large areas that are between each pair of hemostats. In between each pair of hemostats, I'm going to place some green dye. The green dye that I'm using is Lime Pop from Dharma, Forest Green from Dharma, and Lemon Lime from Pro Chemical and Dye. Then on the triangle lines that I drew on the shirt, I'm going to alternate between using Marigold from Dharma and Golden Yellow from Dharma. I'm only going to place those colors on the line. I'm not going to fill in the triangle with those colors. Inside of the triangles, I'm going to use some blue. I'm using Lapis from Pro Chemical and Dye, Cerulean Blue from Custom Colors, and Faded Denim from Dharma. Then in all the remaining white areas, I'm going to use strong navy from Dharma. I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of dry soda ash over the top of the dye, and then add on the ice. Because this shirt was an unusual shape, I didn't really try to make an ice barrier. I'm just going to place the ice on top and kind of press it down into the top of the shirt. I set the shirt aside and allowed the ice to melt. After this layer of ice melted, I came back and added a second layer of ice and allowed it to melt as well. Almost all of the dye had dissolved, and it looked like the dye had come through really well to the back side of the shirt. So I just left the shirt alone and I allowed it to continue processing. I allowed the shirt to process at least 24 hours after all the ice melted. So this is what the shirt looks like right before I began rinsing it. And as you can see, it looks like the dye has come through really well to the back, and most of the dye on the top of the shirt is dissolved. I started rinsing the shirt in cold water to rinse out any of the soda ash that might be remaining in the shirt. After rinsing for a while, I took the hemostats off of the shirt and warmed the water up to hot to continue rinsing the shirt to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Since this color palette was pretty dark, I went ahead and ran some hot water in my utility sink along with a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent and just allowed the shirt to soak. I changed out the water periodically and continued the soaking process until the water was almost clear. Then I put the shirt into my washing machine and washed it using a hot water cycle along with a little bit of Dharma's textile detergent. And here's how the shirt looks after it was washed and dried. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one looks really cool. I like the lime green. I think it really pops and stands out on the shirt. I also like the little hints of yellow on the shirt. I personally think that this shirt looks very much like a kaleidoscope. So that's what I'm going to name this one, is the Kaleidoscope Mandala. I really like the design on the shirt that was formed from placing the hemostats where I did. I think it looks cool. I think that adds to the kaleidoscope effect. I also think I got really good color saturation in this shirt. There's not a whole lot of white in it. And I think the color combination flows really well. The strong navy that I put in all of the blank spaces on the shirt really helps make the rest of the shirt stand out. I also think that the strong navy around certain areas of the mandala, especially like that main center portion of the shirt, where it falls, it almost makes the mandala look 3D, which I think is a really cool effect. I'm definitely going to have to play around with this design a little bit more. Now that I have a few more hemostats to work with, I can start experimenting a little bit more with the placement and seeing what kind of difference it makes on the shirt. If you guys have enjoyed this video and the content of it, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.